We want to turn now to the disappearance of two little boys in California. It is part of our continuing Missing in America series here on Prime. Orrin and Orson West, brothers, vanished from the backyard of their family home just days before Christmas. That was 10 months ago, and since then, the search for the then 3- and 4-year-old boys has been relentless. NewsNation's Nancy Liu is digging into their case and the investigation into their disappearance, and she is joining us live tonight with their story. Nancy.
Marnie, a prayer gathering is underway right now here in Bakersfield because today marks exactly 10 months since Orrin and Orson West were reported missing. But even before, these young boys, these toddlers, they had gone through a lot of change in their lives, much of it in foster care. Their most recent stop was allegedly at a home in California City.
Good feeling. It's not nothing that you want to just sit up and think about all the time. You got to make yourself think about something different, you know, positive, something happy, something better.
Biological father Charles Pettis is racked with heartache. In an exclusive interview, Pettis talks publicly for the first time about the mysterious disappearance of 4-year-old Orrin and his 3-year-old brother Orson.
They might not remember me, but I remember them, and I'll show them. Like, it don't matter how long it takes, how hard it's going to be, I will never give up.
It's been 10 months since the brothers were reported missing from this home in California City. It was around 5 p.m. on December 21st, and Christmas was close. Adoptive father Trezell West says the boys were outside that afternoon playing with a family dog named Chalk.
She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea that they go outside and play with Chalk on the back patio.
West claims he checked on the boys when he went out to get firewood.
Came in the house, saw them there, went in the house, I came back out, I didn't see them there. I immediately went back in, asked my wife, did you see the boys? She said no, they should be outside playing with Chalk. I didn't see them, so I came back outside and I started searching my backyard. I searched the whole thing.
The boys were gone, and West says he realized he had left the back gate open. The West spoke with local media 2 days after they called police, but they have not commented publicly since.
I don't want you guys thinking we didn't try. We actually looked before we called police.
Police were called around 6 p.m. Soon after, the neighborhood and the West home were thoroughly searched. The Wests eventually had their 2 biological and 2 other adoptive children removed from their care. And in March, Bakersfield police took over the investigation due to more resources and family ties on both sides.
It's a puzzle, and there are key pieces that are missing, and we are using every legal means to figure out what happened and get the facts and circumstances behind what occurred.
Police admit to withholding over 90% of the evidence in this case to protect their investigation. And while the Wests aren't speaking with the media, police say they remain in contact with the Wests.
It's one of those situations where you open a door and that door leads to another hallway, which leads to another hallway, which leads to another hallway. So we haven't reached the end of our journey yet.
The boys were born as Sincere and Classic. Their biological parents lost custody in 2018 due to a suspect leg injury, which relatives insist was not inflicted.
They took my family. They took my life away from me. My kids is my life. That's my family.
Biological cousin Rosanna Wills is among the loved ones convinced the boys were never in Cal City. The Wests had moved into the home in September and reported the boys missing just 3 months later.
Something happened. Something happened.
The Wests have moved away, but are said to return periodically to check on the home. They have not attended any of the prayer gatherings or recent searches.
But we're the only ones out here, including the supporters, who are pushing for the boys. We haven't heard nothing from their side of the family, the adoptive family.
There is a hefty reward in the case, and it's hoped more national awareness will bring the boys home.
So many other kids have coverage, but these 2 boys didn't from day one. I don't feel like they're deceased. I feel like somebody have them. And it might not be in California, but I don't know.
Well, I have children, I have 3, and most people have children. Most people, we don't expect anybody's child to go missing and just disappear.
Jennifer Nobles has generously made sure that billboards and banners featuring the boys are widely disseminated, even though the only available photos are well over a year old.
Even if they're a little bit old, I hope there's some feature, that they see on their face, their nose or their lips or their eyes or anything that just stands out to them that makes them question, like, could that be one of the boys? Could it be? Just possibly?
There is a secret witness line just for this case. That number is 661-322-4040. The family and Bakersfield police implore anyone with information from before or after the boys disappeared to please call. Marnie?
Just vanished. Nancy, police aren't saying too much about their investigation all these months later. Can we read anything into what they have revealed and shared so far?
Well, there is a clear indication. The switch from Cal City Police to Bakersfield Police indicates that the heart of the case is here. Cal City is 70 miles away. Did something happen here in Bakersfield before that family moved to Cal City? We were out there yesterday. We talked with a neighbor who said he never saw those boys in Cal City. He also never heard children playing in that backyard. You would hear children squealing or laughing or talking to each other. He said he heard none of that.
So much heartbreak for this family and for the friends who you interviewed. We've covered a lot of missing persons cases, generally adults. When a child goes missing, it is even more heartbreaking. And harder, I would imagine, for police to search for little boys like Orrin and Orson.
Absolutely harder, because adults, we have a digital trail. We have our cell phones. We have computer searches. We have acquaintances that they can talk to. These are little boys. They didn't have any phones. They may not also have memories of their early lives, and they're physically smaller. So finding them is so tough. Hopefully they are together out there somewhere.
I share in that hope. They are babies, and they also don't know how to ask for help if something happened to them. Nancy Liu, live in California. Nancy, thank you. This past 4 weeks, we have brought you each and every story, these important stories. Daniel Robinson, Lauren Cho, Kira Coles, Najib Monsif, Alicia Navarro, and now these little West boys. Every missing person matters, and if you have a family member or a loved one who is missing, or you know of a case you think we should be looking into, you can suggest a case on our website at newsnationnow.com/missing.